Alrighty guys, in this video, let's take a look at has KOSPI finally found its bottom. We have a really good rebound, and this, as we tested one of our zone, has it already given us the bottom. Let's talk about all of that because SK Hynix is also looking great on the Korean market. Considering that SK Hynix today on NASDAQ, look at this beauty, 27% up today. This is crazy stuff, right? So let's take a look at all of that. We'll start off with the KOSPI market, Korean market here. Our market is open. We'll take a look at SK Hynix. We'll take a look at Samsung. We'll then also take a look at our Micron, Sandisk, NVDA, AMD, ARM, Broadcom. TSM has its earnings soon in 2 days, so that's something you keep an eye on, as well Intel and Seagate, all that good stuff in this video. Now, before going further, as always though guys, none of this is any financial advice, only for education purposes, just sharing my opinion. Please do your own thing. So what makes me say KOSPI, this is the bottom, right? Now, we tested yesterday. Now, yesterday when I did the video here on my channel here, KOSPI market bounce caution, right? We were up here, 6,940, and I said that be cautious of this bounce because this is just a bounce, and you can see we tested very close to the bottom, which is pretty much at our zone. We tested very close. We came down all the way to 6,446 when I called out caution on the bounce, and we then slipped lower for the rest of the session. We then got bought up as well later. Now, the point is that one candle doesn't tell us anything because the context is the price action has been in the downtrend. However, this today's candle, is this the game changer? In summary and in few words, yes, this is a game changer because I mentioned that this is a potential stabilization zone which gave us a bounce, which today is continuing up, and it's just is strong enough that it has taken out a significant level above, that is 7,059. And let's get to the hourly interval. We are though not yet close to that lower moving reference line. So yes, it's a rebound today. However, this rebound, since it happened after a zone of a potential bottom and a stabilization, this as if it has a high likelihood of as if a pullback comes, which still have high likelihood. You may see tomorrow a red candle here somewhere, but the point is that this bounce is so strong closer to the potential stabilization zone that any pullback as if it comes most likely will give it a bottom here to the KOSPI. Okay, and it's not fully bullish right away, but it is a strong rebound that it can eventually slowly, even if pullback comes, may stabilize here and eventually in few days may start to give upside again. It's one candle one day is not enough, but it's forming in a way that most likely pullbacks will be bought up on this eventually. We may have a bottom, but as I always say, nothing is guaranteed in the stock market. We measure the probability and place our chips where the higher probability is, and right now probability is to the upside, but there is always that minor probability on the other side. And how do we manage that? We manage with our risk management, which what it means, the stop loss. Our bias is turning to the upside now slowly on KOSPI, but nothing is guaranteed, right? As I said, pullbacks may still happen, so you still have to build your position in a way that you can tolerate a drawdown. You cannot go all in at one price. But anyways, those decisions are yours, how you want to play it. But the point is that your risk management has to be in this yellow zone still. If let's say we come down and we keep going down, which I do think first time will be a liquidity grab, and then it's going to snap back already again. But just telling you that you will have to have a risk management around the yellow zone, as if things start to slow down there again and stay there, it's gonna be a little bit messy. So as you know, it's a rebound on KOSPI, a good rebound, but you will still have to give it, either it breaks the reference line right away and gain another level above like 7,704. If it can do that right away, well, that's great for you. That means, okay, it is not gonna stop. But anyways, right now, most likely pullbacks will stabilize. It's not a, it's still a rebound, but it's most likely has a room to stabilize here. And yeah, may at least give you some couple of days of stabilization, and then we'll see as if that stabilization is strong enough, but that is all leading to a potential bottom here on KOSPI. Okay, now having said that, it doesn't mean we're gonna go to new highs. Okay, I showed you GLD yesterday, right, as a really good analogy and a reference here. For example, GLD here, a good bounce came for many days, 3-4 weeks. It's a tradable bounce, I get it, but overall structure still technically couldn't push it to the new highs, right? And that's the whole point, is that this price action tells you that yes, we have a stabilization possibility, at least the downside is getting over, and we may a little bit push up, but it doesn't guarantee anything right now regarding a new highs. For the new highs, we'll have to break out above 8,029, then only we can even start talking about the new highs. Otherwise, as I showed you on GLD, those bounces, yes, it's a tradable longevity potential, but we have to still get above that. New highs right now is, we cannot talk about that. The only thing we can talk about is potential bottom stabilization here, and you have to do the risk management still in the yellow zone below, but it's a good price action. All right, you get my point, right? So let's get to SK Hynix on the Korean market, right? Good bounce today as well on this, considering how the US stock also did, and that can be followed through into here as well. Let it close first. It's a good bounce. Again, there's a possibility of a stabilization, just like KOSPI. As I say, we are not overall bullish. Even on KOSPI, it's a good rebound and a potential bottom formation through the pullback, and it may stabilize. High likelihood is of stabilization, but we still have to have a risk management. Similarly for SK Hynix over here, this may most likely be the bottom for the near term, provided any pullback doesn't slip lower than 1,688. Okay, let's get to the hourly interval. So we can still have some pullbacks on this thing, but it has regained a strong resistance zone. Now it's important to see if it's gonna go for this gap fill by like 2,040,000 area. If it loses it, is it going to go a gap fill and then come back up? But as if it can stay above it, hold above it, this is the whole point. Since it has regained it at least today, it does make it a good strength possibility. Look for a pullback, potential stabilization, and then a hold up here. This is not the confirmed bottom, but it has a high likelihood of forming a bottom, this confirming a bottom, and most likely pullbacks getting bought up eventually. Most likely stabilization is coming on SK Hynix here as well. While I'm talking SK Hynix here, let me show you on the NASDAQ as well. The thing is 27% up today, and this is where it is looking strong. Even though the context, you still have to look with the SK Hynix on KOSPI side, but provided KOSPI on the SK Hynix on the KOSPI side, as if it starts to stabilize up here in this region, that will keep the NASDAQ US also to the upside. Okay, you are still taking the reference from here and then translating into the SK Hynix on the NASDAQ. Okay, so all right, but look, the session is still running. We don't have a close yet. Okay, on the day, on the session, and yes, we may still fill this gap. Okay, what I'm saying is that this bounce is so strong that we have a potential of this bottom formation pullbacks most likely for a couple of days, may give us a stabilization and then a good strong push to the upside. Samsung on the other hand, a bit of a disappointment right now. A good red candle, I would say. However, it has a room also, getting very close already actually, guys, to our zone 215,000 area. But this thing has a room, as if it doesn't, well, let's see how it closes though, right? But it is a good bounce, but just like all of them, it has a room to stabilize here. It's not anywhere closer to a significant level, so we'll have to use the one above 267,000. We gotta hold that. If we lose it, not a good sign, but also watch a couple of days. This is what I'm telling you, like KOSPI can do also this pullback, and then we have to see a stabilization and then a push through with the break of the level above. So these are good bounces, but Yeah, so it's even on SK Hynix, but that's the whole point. Like we can still go for pullbacks for a couple of days with the potential bottom formation. All right, so that's how things are looking like, guys, on the Korean market right now. Let's take a look at now Micron. How is our Micron doing? So overnight session pushing $2,000 now. So I told you in the morning that as if we can close we start to close on the higher edge of this 990 area zone. This will be the transitioning on the bulls side. It's already at 1004 up here on the bullish end. Now it's a good zone where it is between bulls and the bears potential. This is what KOSPI may do, right? Okay, this couple of days of pullbacks, the retest, and then a final breakout. Micron rebounds were slower, that's why this was a little bit more of a tug of war, but KOSPI rebound is stronger. Excuse me. I'm going to get rid of this zone because the importance is with this significant levels on the either end. Okay, so below this 950, no, right? Above this, yes, transitioning to the bullish side and then breaking out above this 1030 is where, like, okay, we are then pushing to the zones above, right? Which is on the really good overall bullish strength side then. So Micron is looking strong. And as if we push above 1030, we may be going for the test of the highs. That's a possibility, very likely on Micron then. Sandisk. So Sandisk also is today in the bounce zone. Now let's get to the hourly interval though. So this thing at 1786, right up here, I would still say that overall on this thing is above the red zone. We still have to get above that. Until then, it's still a part of a potential stabilization and a rebound, but it is a part of just a part of a consolidation phase with a potential transition either to the bull side or to the continuation to the downside. So we are still waiting what it's going to do. Your proper strength on this is only above the red zone at this point, but the closer it gets, the closer it's going to be on the bullish transition side. Okay, and definitely you don't want to, if you're a bull, you don't want to see it lose 1574. If it does that, that's where bigger problems are, which means because overall structure is not going to change until we take out the red zone. Even though if you're trying to transition, that's going to be only multi-day bulls and all, but overall structure is only transition above 1896. So between these zones, you are in the transition zone. So which means prior to that, what is the overall structure though has been negative. And that's why if we lose 1574, it's going to continue the overall direction. So it's in this transition zone, still holding the context of bearishness though on the overall side. And on the multi-day side, it is slowly and slowly, the more up it gets, the multi-day, it's going to be then on the bullish side. So we have overall structure, multi-day structure, and the day trade structure. Okay, now, so that's Sandisk, and accordingly, this pretty much defines your trades. If you're taking a multi-day trade, if you're taking a day trade, if you're taking a swing trade, all these things defines how you will be taking those trades, because that defines the horizon. NVDA, as I have been telling you guys, just bullish, great, strong. Pullbacks are getting bought up, and we are still bullish. We already tested our next zone. The next zone now is 236. Along the ways, we may see pullbacks, but as I have been telling you, even yesterday's red candle, I told you it's just a pullback. It's just still bullish. AMD, guys, that liquidity zone is really crunching it. Nothing has changed as per our previous plan. This zone is still really selling it off, which it's supposed to. But also it's not giving the downside, right? So that's where you are right now, just holding on to your remaining position. Hold and only get out if you lose $500. So you can also start sizing down if you lose 528 again, but if you still want to hold, then 500 is where the break is below that. ARM unfortunately remains in the negative structure, guys. Nothing has changed on ARM for us. It remains in the bearish structure. So next level 235. The only thing that can change the direction on this would be as if we somehow tomorrow get above 309. Okay, if we can do that somehow, it has a room to turn around the direction, otherwise no. So Broadcom, a red candle closed today again into our zone. Now look, it may be a slow mover, and most likely it will be. The point is that this has been bullish above 372. I would still consider it to be fine until 372. If we lose 372, yes, we have a problem in our hands, but otherwise we are fine. TSM is what you have to watch, guys. This Thursday morning is when their earnings are. I think it reports in the morning. Let's see. Wow, it used to show the, well, I think it's in the morning, at least, sorry, New York time. Okay. So, but anyways, so this thing is not looking good actually. It's in the negative direction and it's about to just lose this next zone, 421, as if it unfortunately loses it, 386. What will, like, where's the strength on this? What level we have to gain from where we are if the strength has to come? Well, we can start talking some upside if we can see a day close above 429 without breaking below. So that's something to watch. Intel. So Intel is still unfortunately negative, guys. Nothing has changed on this thing. Even near-term strength, even though it's doing a bounce at the yellow zone that I have given you, but it's still many days away. Even if it has to show proper strength, it's just many days away. No point in talking strength right now, unless TSM earnings does something, or we get above that zone, 116 above. Seagate. Seagate is overnight a little bit going up. Again, just like I explained you, Micron and Sandisk, this is for it, a transition phase. Let's take a look at the hourly interval. It's also trying to hold the stabilization, but yeah, let it get above, close day above 914, closer to 938, then only you can have an expectation of this to continue up. Otherwise, right now, no. Okay, so it's very important we gain those zones before you can be strongly bullish. Guys, that's all I had for you in this video. If you found it helpful, valuable, please hit the like, subscribe. Also check out my members only videos if you are interested. A lot of stocks I talk with my members. Today's video has already been done, so don't forget that. A lot of great stuff, guys. Okay, so I'll see you in my next videos. Take care, bye.